In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father, fount of wisdom and love, you bless us with your gifts of faith, family, community, and Catholic education. We thank you for the students of our 2020 class, as well as for their families and friends. We ask you that you bless these dons abundantly as they become part of our faith-filled family here at Cathedral. Fill them with your grace, enthusiasm, and joy, while they prepare to grow humanly, intellectually, and spiritually, drawing closer to Christ at Cathedral Catholic. We ask you for their parents and families. Protect them and bless them always as they strive to give the best education to their children so that they may become the great men and women God wants them to be. Lord, grant us an enjoyable time of fellowship this afternoon and help us always grow in love for you and for one another. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
All right, and I'd also like to introduce myself. My name is Elizabeth Teiser. I'm the Director of Admissions here today and every day. It has been a really nice season this year with all of you working through the admissions process, and I'd particularly like to thank my team, Cheryl Bowie and Kea Balke, for all of their help and support in getting everything organized and in the office and to this point today. So if you wouldn't mind joining me in a big round of applause for Kayla and Cheryl. At this time, I'd like to introduce our president, Mr. Steve LaPerry, to address you all.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Some spirit. We're going to be a big class. You're going to have to show lots of school spirit. Okay, so far 403 registered for freshman class, a great number, potentially another 80 to come. So we may be approaching a class of 500. You will be a force to be reckoned with. Yes, even as freshmen. It's my honor and privilege to serve as the president of this school. I want to thank you for taking a risk and for joining our family. I think you've heard all along that we have a family atmosphere, that people care and look out for one another, and we want to welcome you to this family. And we thank you for being here today. How many of you, well, first of all, if you have an empty seat or seats next to you, would you raise your hand and just keep your hand up for a minute? So those that are sitting in the back or standing in the back, if you need a seat, there's some seats up here, and anywhere you see an open hand, you can take a seat, okay? So it might help you from not having to stand for the next hour. And that's just my portion. No, I'm kidding. Although I never met a microphone I didn't like. All right, you can put your hands down now, I think. The true Catholics are standing in the back. That's what happens. How many of you are first-time high school families? So this is your first one going. So would you stand up for a minute and stay standing? All right, so first time they've had somebody in high school. Now, look around you and see the people that are seated. They're the veterans. You want to get to know them, okay? So if you see somebody sitting down and you kind of connect with them, these are people you want to get to know over this next year, and these are people you want to go up to and talk to, and you want to find all the ins and outs, right? Who knows the most about our school? Our parents, right? They're our best ambassadors. You can have a seat now. Thank you very much. So for this being your first high schooler, I give you even more thanks for joining our community. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. I can tell you that the 4 years are going to go by just like that, believe it or not, except for the tuition payments. So, welcome. I'm going to introduce you now to our principal, Mr. Kevin Calkins, and then Ms. Teiser will take over the rest of our presentation.
Thank you, Mr. LaPerry. My name is Kevin Calkins, am the principal here at Cathedral. I want to try something with you and see how many of you can follow along. So if I say God is good, you would say, and then I say all the time. Okay, so let's try it and let's hear if everybody can do it. So God is good. All the time. And all the time. God is good. It's the God of goodness. That's the reason we gather right now. It's all good. It's all gift in truth. I attended a convention in San Diego a few weeks ago, and at the opening ceremony, the keynote speaker, who was actually an Orthodox Jew and is the president of the College Board, was making the case for Catholic education. So it was kind of interesting, a secular organization. And he gave 5 reasons why Catholic education is really important. The one I loved the most was a sense of gratitude among people in Catholic education, especially the students. And I just think that's so profound when we think about why you invest in Catholic education, why we have Catholic education. This whole school, our faculty, our staff, it's all gift, and it's all gratitude. There's a tremendous sense of that at Cathedral, and you'll experience that as you get to know us better. We have something in common, and that is we're going through welcome orientation for the first time. I've never done this before. This is my first year at Cathedral, and so I have a little bit more experience at Cathedral and what it's about, but I'm walking through this experience with you at the same time and going through it for the first time, so we can share in that journey. As we move forward, I look forward to getting to know all of you. Please seek me out if I can answer any questions for you today. I'm really grateful that you're here. I'm really grateful for all of you. Thanks. So I'm going to turn this back over to Elizabeth.
Great. So at this time, we're going to go ahead and start the logistics part of the presentation. I'm going to invite Kate Garfalo up to help me with this part. We received some wonderful hashtag photos with all of the acceptances on Twitter and Instagram and social media. So we're going to announce the prizes for that, and Kate is also going to do a little student welcome and tell you a little bit about student activities for incoming freshmen.
Welcome to Cathedral Catholic High School, and thank you for choosing us. I'm Kate Garfalo, the ASB Executive President of the 2016-2017 school year.
And I'm also Kate. I'm Kate Petosa. I'm the Executive Vice President for the 2016-2017 school year.
3 years ago, I was in your place, nervous and excited to start my new journey at Cathedral. Even though it may seem very overwhelming, ASB has many activities to get you to know the new freshman class. For example, the ASB elections, the dance, and also Freshman Welcome Week. We also have over 50 clubs to choose from.
So we have clubs, we have in general your freshman year. I know it's scary coming in, but if you want to be involved in ASB, if you want to get involved in the school, we have the clubs that Kate mentioned. If you want to come sit with us at lunch, get to know us, you can find us in the gold polos. However you choose to get involved at Cathedral, there's so many different great opportunities, and I'm sure you guys can experiment, choose what you like to do through, trying different clubs and, just general getting to know our school better.
And here are our raffle prizes, which are the license plates and the shirts. And here are some of the pictures of the...
Okay, first we're going to do the raffle prizes.
Okay.
Cool. And that's the license plate. Okay. And then you pick first 4.
So the first 4 winners are Natalie Baltacino, Ethan Gelmilidan. Holden Brosnan. And Joshua DeFiche. And here are the hashtag game winners. Aiden Hallinan. Sydney Kritzer. Mitchell Seat. And Kate Burton. Thank you, and I can't wait to see all of you next year.
Thank you, Kate and Kate. Kate's. One more. Matthew Collins, are you here? Yeah, Matthew! Good job, Matthew. Here, let's make it official. Here. Down to some business. We're going to tell you all about your schedules today. I sent out some course placements last night. If you didn't like it, that's okay. We'll help you get to what you want, hopefully. Every student will be enrolled in one of these classes, starting with religion, English, math, science, yada, yada, yada. And if you were looking for the curriculum guide, I posted the link here. This evening, I'm going to send this presentation out to all of you via email. So if you forgot a part or want to reference any of the links that I'm talking about, you will have access to all of that. So not to worry, no need to take notes. We're going to start with a description of the English program, and for that I invite Department Chair Jeff McMurtry up to tell you all about English. Jeff?
Okay, so starting this year, the English department is going to be offering 3 placements instead of our traditional 2. So we're going to have a 1B, a 1, and a 1H. Placement initially starts with the HSPT test that you've already taken. However, we also look at a portfolio of grades, previous testing. There is, if you do not like your English 1 placement and you're looking for a 1H placement, if you're looking to go into our honors course, we do offer a challenge test for that. We do place conservatively to allow you to make that challenge. The 1B is a little bit odd, the fact that it does not have a challenge. We have no challenge there to allow a 1B placement to go up into 1. But it shouldn't be seen as really a or parochial version of a remedial class. What it is reading support class. And so actually a large percentage of students are placed in the 1B to try to make them college ready for our full curriculum. I mean, that's really the motive for this course, is to make sure that our upper curriculum is accessible to all students. We allow you to go up very frequently in our program. It's not a track program per se. So we expect students to go from a 1B into 2, and from 2 even to go into 2 into 3 honors or our AP course, or into our AP courses at the senior level. So we don't really have a track system here. If you are thinking that you want to do the challenge test to get into 1 honors in your first year, that sign up is already available on the CCHS website. I suggest that you go there and make arrangements to take that test. That test is an essay test, so it's going to be a reading, a short reading of a narrative piece, okay, narrative prose, it's not poetry. And then there's going to be, it's a 1-hour test, there's going to be plenty of time for the student to write a full essay on that reading, and it's going to be analytical in nature. Okay, so this is really seeing if the student has the writing background to be able to make it into our 1 honors course. We assume that HSPT will end up having some testing difficulties, especially because it's a time test and it doesn't have a writing component. Students are best prepared, that we've found, if they end up having a writing background going into our 1H courses. That course right now doesn't have a huge enrollment, so don't think that if you didn't make it into 1 honors course, there's something wrong. We are a conservative placing school, okay? And I do want to reiterate that our advanced courses are open to students, even if they've gotten into English 1. They can go on to honors courses almost in every level afterwards. We have a B requisite here, so if you get B in the previous one, you can challenge up into the next course. So look forward to that, and don't be appalled at assuming that there's a low placement. There are not low placements, there's conservative placements. The next slide is our summer school. Yeah, there we go. So we do end up having links to our 1H and our English 1 and 1B summer reading assignments already up. The English 1 and 1B are taking the same reading assignment. Both of them are going to be a directed or guided annotation of a work. That work is The Alchemist by Coelho. And then the English 1 Honors Summer Reading Assignment is, again, a guided annotation project, prompts and annotation. We have selected literarily valuable but high student interest works. Orson Scott Card's Ender's Game, Something Wicked This Way Comes by Ray Bradbury. A couple other selections there. Students will be going through an annotation process and then doing 2 small projects for that. Go ahead and click on those if you want to end up asking questions of us for clarifications or anything. I'd be happy to field your emails on the summer reading program. Okay, now I'm going to be handing it over to Tim Darenthal, who will speak for the math department placement.
Thank you. I'd like to welcome you on behalf of the math department. I'm not the math department chair. The department chair is Gary Remacher. He is out. He's also a varsity baseball coach. He's out playing a little-known school. You may have heard of it, St. Augustine High School. So we're hoping that I didn't have a score to report to you. We're hoping that he's putting a hurt on them. It's kind of hard to say that because I'm a Saintsman. Classic. You can go ahead. You can, you know. But after 26 years, finally, I was coaching football last year, and both John Mentali and Sean Doyle, who are graduates, said after 26 years, I've earned the honorary Don's title. So that's a good thing. But I really would like to welcome you here. My third son is going to graduate this year from Cathedral Catholic. My daughter is a sophomore, so she'll be a junior next year. I know that it's going to be a great and enriching time for you, and a great choice and a great community, as it has been for me, my sons, my daughter, and my family. So again, I really like to welcome you. So, math placement. Jeff talked a lot about the placement, and it's very similar in mathematics. We have really 4 choices there to go into, 4 placements: the beginning algebra, algebra 1A, geometry, and geometry honors. We also will place you You know, we've had students start in Algebra 2 Trig Honors. We've had them start at Pre-Calc Honors as well. The way you were placed is, again, on the HSPT, on some recommendations, on coursework, and it's not an exact science. Different schools, when they teach algebra, they teach different things, in terms of sometimes that's not a full year, sometimes some students cover 3/4 of a year or half a year. The HSPT does not really allow us to differentiate between those that have taken a full Algebra 1 course or a full geometry course and that kind of thing. So we do the best we can. Just as Jeff said, it's a conservative placement. There's a challenge test, so if you're not happy with your placement, we really would like you to be placed in the class that best suits you. So we do encourage you to take that placement test, to sign up online, and to take that if you feel that you've been placed in a wrong or in a inappropriate level. Just know that if you test out of Algebra 1 and into geometry, you probably miss me, because I'm an Algebra 1A teacher, so you gotta look for, you know, that's a choice you have to make, I guess. Tracking, we have traditional versus integrated, so again, we can handle that. Those of you that have integrated 1 will generally go into integrated 2 and stay with that. And you can kind of see where you end up in the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, and the 11th, or from 8th, the 9th, the 10th, and the 11th grade. Our sequencing, we have a couple different sequences from the College Ready, where you would start in beginning algebra, and you can see as you move through that to the 12th grade. The College Prep, which you can see as you move through the 12th grade, the accelerated and the honors as well. There's also movement between the years. So, for example, my son was real close, a borderline on the geometry, Algebra 1. I'm a big fan of being really strong in your algebra skills. He did very well. My first one decided to take geometry over the summer and was able to move up that way. My son that's graduating this year did the same thing. Did really well in Algebra 1, did really well in geometry, so he went to the Algebra 2 Trig Honors as a junior, as in Pre-Calc Honors this year. So there is movement throughout that, depending on how well you do. You can move between the different levels. So I know it's confusing, but we're there to answer any questions that you might have. And again, I just want to welcome you and turn this over to Terry Anacarico for science.
Tim prepped my joke for me. It's science. It is exact. And we have several placement options for freshmen in the science department, including earth science, biology, and honors biology. And a couple of points noted on the PowerPoint that there could be a challenge test for biology honors if you would choose to do so, and that's the English 1 challenge test. In science, we also have a few clubs that if you're interested in participating, we have Environmental Science Club and a Future Physicians Club, and also a garden club with a really cool garden outside. In the next slide, I believe I'm talking about engineering program also. We have, sorry, that's okay, thank you. We have a pre-engineering program that starts off with the Introduction to STEAM class, and Mr. Wallace is the teacher that teaches that. And it's based on your math enrollment with geometry, honors geometry, integrated math 2, or higher level math to start off with our introductory STEAM program. There's also placement options through summer school if our 8th graders are not at that level yet. And we have a big machine shop with lots of big tools like drill presses and machine shop tools that we make robots with. The robotics team competes on a national level. They did a competition recently in San Diego. If you haven't been to a robotics competition, it's out of this world. It's really amazing. So they do a great job with our robots there. And I'm going to pass this along to Jessica Swift.
Thanks, Terry. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Jessica Swift. I'm our Visual and Performing Arts Department Chair and our Director of Music here at Cathedral Catholic High School. Welcome. You have a very exciting 4 years ahead, and you're going to have more opportunities than you know what to do with. So we're going to help you with the first one. You get to take a visual or performing arts class next year. And many of you have already indicated where your interests lie. When you took a test a few months back, you might have selected Foundations of Performing Arts, Foundations of Visual Arts are one of the many options that you see up here. And so the good news is it should be fairly simple to get you into those classes. But I do need to let you know that some have prerequisites, some might not be available to you until you're a sophomore or junior, and how that would look. So if you took on the test, you indicated band, choir, orchestra, or drama, you are good to go. Some of you even took an audition or submitted some audition materials. Beginners are welcome in those classes, and we offer solutions for different levels for those of you that are experienced or more advanced. And so we want to hear from you if we didn't, if that's the case for you. Otherwise, if you're a beginner, we're good to go, and of course, please reach out with questions. If you are more inclined to the visual side of things, you will be enrolled in a class called Foundations of Visual Arts. And this is a really great experience because you're going to be enrolled with lots of other incoming students. It's a good home base, and you're going to get skills that would prepare you to go into any art class beyond that. So you could be working on drawing and painting, 3D design, even digital photography, which would all prepare you for more specific classes down the road in our arts categories. If you were a visual person on the test and you indicated that maybe you thought you were ready for one of those more advanced classes, that is where we'd want to make sure that we get some materials from you. So even though the audition deadline has passed, please do reach out if you think that you'd qualify into one of those classes. It's really important to us that we're discovering and helping guide you in those passions. One question we sometimes get is, what if I want to do both? It's not impossible, especially if you're somebody inclined to do some summer school. I do have, for example, a violinist in my orchestra class who is a phenomenal visual artist. So it is possible to do both or to change during your 4 years and explore several options. So again, please do reach out. My email down here, jswift@cathedralcatholic.org, with any questions or to submit some audition materials. Now, here to tell you more about how to get into classes is Ashley Boscom, our Dean of Counseling.
Thank you. All right, so a couple other classes that you get to select for next year. One is your language. So we have 4 different options available for language. As you can see, we have Spanish, French, Latin, and American Sign Language. All 4 of our language programs are built for a 4-year program within the language. Even within our ASL program, even though College Board has not yet created the AP level of an ASL class, our teachers have designed an ASL 4 program to allow those students to continue a language all the way through. So no matter what language you choose, you're able to have that experience your entire time when you're here with us at Cathedral. For some of you that may have taken Spanish or French, or you have a background within the language, we do have a challenge test available to make sure you're placed in the appropriate class. And we now have some middle schools that are offering ASL at the middle school level. So if you have taken ASL and you think you're able to challenge into the level 2 of that, you'll actually do that the first week of school. You'll be able to meet with your ASL teacher, go through an evaluation, and we will move you if that's the appropriate placement. So again, language is a great opportunity where you can find what's going to be best for you, explore something different if you want to change from your middle school language, or continue on with what you've been studying. You've heard a lot about the challenge test. You're heard there online. This is what it looks like. So a quick little shot of it. You'll be able to go in through the link when you're emailed this presentation tonight and sign up for any of the challenge tests. It's a little blurry, but any of the challenge tests you think you want to take next year. Again, we do conservative placement because we want our students to be successful. For college application purposes, I know that seems far away. We just got into high school. We're already thinking about college, but they want to see you succeed. They don't want to see you challenge yourself into the point of being exhausted and not enjoying the topics, not enjoying the areas of study. So make sure that if you're looking to challenge, you're looking to move ahead to an honors level course, it's in an area of study that you love. You love doing extra homework for that class. It's going to be a bigger commitment, so make sure you have those conversations as a family. Make sure there's good balance within your academics and within your entire life freshman year. But the challenge test sign-up process is very easy. It's right online, and we'll get you into those tests. Lastly, everyone gets to choose an elective for next year. We have a few different options available. Most of you have selected your option, and next Friday, April 22nd, will be the last day to select your elective choices for next year. So our speech, our honors speech, our world geography, our foundations of PE wellness, and our academic coaching are all semester-long courses. The one that you can take twice is academic coaching. You can take that for one semester or a full year, and I'll go into exactly what that class entails. And then our Intro to STEAM course, if you're interested in that prayer engineering program or exploring that further, is a year-long elective course. So you will be with us all year in that STEAM program. Again, when we email this to you, you'll be able to go through if you have not yet selected your elective for next year, or if you'd like to change your elective for next year. Please be sure to take the time, though, to review in the curriculum guide all the different classes. It's a great opportunity to explore different areas. One of the classes that we do have, that world geography, social science is not a freshman requirement, but this is an opportunity if you have a passion for social science to continue on. Our speech classes move into speech 2 and debate later on down the road. Everyone's good at arguing, so speech is always a great class. For those of you who have been with us at Cathedral, you may notice a change. Speech and PE wellness is no longer a graduation requirement, starting with the class of 2020. It is an elective option for you to choose. That is not to say that we don't believe this is an important class. We very much do, but we want you to take it when it's appropriate for you to take it. So that could be freshman year, or you can choose to take it as an elective down the road. Academic coaching, I told you I would tell you more. Some of you have been placed into academic coaching, and some of you have selected to be a part of academic coaching. So what the academic coaching class is, it's a transition class, and it's helping students be better students. How do you find out how to study at the high school level? How do you prepare for a test or finals at the high school level that can be worth 20% of your grade? How do you become the best version of you within the classroom? So all of our freshmen will be focusing on these things listed within the second bullet in goal setting, persistence, self-awareness, motivation, help-seeking, progress monitoring, and self-efficacy. Through the academic coaching class, they're going to help students see what this looks like in the classroom, get those physical representation of how you build those skills as a student. So again, it can be a class you're placed in, it could be a class you select. It's open for all of our freshmen and will be available all 4 years. Later on down the road in 10th and 11th and 12th grade, there will be a study hall option. So if you learn these skills as a 9th grader, that could be a way to continue it on in a more open environment. But in 9th grade, we hope to guide you through that process and teach you how to do the best with your time here. Our Learning Center program is for students that have a documented learning disability, and it does require a psychoeducational evaluation. Many of you that are a part of this program have already been in contact with Dr. Burton, but if you feel that your student needs the extra support and has this documentation, we want to offer it for you. Cathedral is a student for all students, no matter how you learn or how you learn best, we want to make sure that we're meeting your needs. So if you have any of this documentation, whether it comes from a private doctor or it comes from an IEP for a public school, you're able to submit that into us. Again, the placement for this will begin, the placement sessions for this will begin on April 20th. You should have received an email from Dr. Burton if you've already turned in some paperwork. If you have not received an email from Dr. Burton, she can be reached at nburton@cathedralcatholic.org, and that is on our website as well. And lastly, being the Dean of Counseling, I do want to give a plug for the counseling office. So we were fortunate to revamp our counseling office this year, really focusing on grade-specific needs. And what do our students need from the counseling office as a 9th grader is very different than what they need as a senior. So we looked into this a lot, spoke with our parents, spoke with our families, our students, spoke with our teachers here on staff, and what we found out is that we needed to split our counseling office. We still work together as one team, but with our 6 counselors, we have 3 at the guidance level that work with our students from 9th grade through 11 and a half, and then we have 3 on the college level that take over second semester of junior year and work through the application process. What that means for you as a ninth grader is we have more time to give to you, to go through four-year planning, go through the transition process from middle school to high school. Start looking at what can you do to be the best version of yourself, what can you do to excel at high school and beyond. Once it's time for college applications to come, your college counselor will take over in that process of letters and recommendation and transcript and really finding that right fit and what's going to be the appropriate placement. One of the first things that will be available for you is in the fall, we'll be meeting with all of our freshmen to make sure everything's going well in that transition. And we'll also be doing four-year planning meetings right away after we have those first semester grades posted. And we'll be able to map out what will classes look like for sophomore, junior, and senior year, not only to meet high school graduation requirements, but also to meet your college admission requirements and looking at those goals. We really believe in that forward planning process to make sure nothing's closed, no opportunities are lost. We want to make sure you have access to everything here at Cathedral. So we do have an open door policy. Students, please come see us anytime, even if it's just to say hi. We want to see you. We want to know who you are, and we really want you to be part of our family in the counseling office. And this is just a little bit. 3 counselors we have right now that are available, myself, Mr. Silva, and Mrs. Roxanne Benson. Again, like I said, we have another 3 at that college level. All of us have the same training, so that college stuff is not going to wait until the middle of junior year. We will be working on that college process all the way through within the planning for you. Lastly, I know we've talked a lot about things that will be happening in the summer, but there are different opportunities available for you. Now that speech and our PE wellness class is no longer a requirement, there is no academic need to take summer school. So summer school is an opportunity to take enrichment. It's also an opportunity to take a summer. So you need to do what's best for you and what's going to have you revamped and rejuvenated and ready to go for the 9th grade year. We have lots of different opportunities, whether it's in academics or it's in athletics, to get involved here on our campus, and that's one of the most amazing things about Cathedral is that there's an opportunity for everyone. So whether you want to be down on the field, you want to be on a stage, you want to be behind the scenes, and you want to be creating a robot, whatever you want to do. There's lots of opportunities, and this will help give you a little bit of an insight of what it's like to be a student at Cathedral. Specifically, we're going to focus on athletics for a little while, and with that, I will pass it over to Mr. Dave Smola.
Hi, my name is Dave Smola. I'm the athletic director here at Cathedral Catholic High School. And I'm just going to ask a question. How many people here are probably going to be involved in athletics? The vast majority of you. Good. Glad to see that. Right now, Cathedral Catholic High School has 42, we offer 42 sports. Anything from badminton to water polo and everything in between. We have traditional sports such as football, baseball, basketball, soccer, lacrosse. But we also have sports that many schools don't have, such as fencing, sailing, crew, and surfing, and rugby, just to mention a few. So we hope we have a sport for everybody here. You might come into school and say, I'm going to try football. And after going through football, you might, no, that's not for me. I want to try crew. We have something here for everybody. We'd like you to come in and take a look at everything we have to offer you. And we are more than happy to help you in moving forward with those choices. So you can come into my office, talk to me, my assistant, Mr. Marquez. We'll find something for you to do. Also, we have 1,250 students, as you see. About 75% of our students get involved in athletics, and we're very proud of that. I don't think there's probably another school in the state that has this high of percentages, as well as the number of teams and sports that we have. We have fall, winter, spring, but we also have sports such as sailing, surfing, that they go across several seasons. So we have seasonal sports, plus we have the traditional seasonal sports. 146 CIF championships total for the school. We're successful. We have a lot of success. And we push our students, actually, not so much to win championships, but to improve themselves. But through that, the outcome of that is to have CIF championships. This year, we have 2 CIF championships and a state regional championship in soccer. Very proud of our kids for all they do and their accomplishments. They work very hard for these awards. This year, we have 47 seniors sign national letters of intent to play college at the next level. This is kind of misleading since only 0.6% of college or of high school athletes entering college receive some sort of financial inducement to play sports at the next level. We actually beat that pretty well by 12 to 13% of our students are going on. And why I think that is happening is because of our academics. Our academics are second to none, and schools are out there looking for students who can academically be successful, just not athletically. And this year, over 150 students have been recognized by our UT San Diego all-academic team. Those are juniors and seniors playing on our varsity sports. So we're very proud of that. Every student that participates in our program has to go through a eligibility process. And the eligibility process is a bunch of forms that you have to do. So in the summer, we're going to send this out to you in the summer mailing to explain how to do this, but just for you to be prepared for it, we have emergency forms, ethics, concussion protocols, off-campus forms, so the student can leave, go off campus to participate in sports. And we all have these ready for you soon. Also, a student, this is really important, a student has to have their physical after June 5th. And that's how we make them eligible for their physical forms then. If you have any questions, please contact our office. Again, we're going to send out more information over the summer mailing. Now, additionally, we have a physical that we hold here on campus for our students, and we usually have 300 to 350 students go through that process every year. Anybody here interested in cheer or dance? Okay, couple, that's good. Well, pay attention to this, and I know that Ms. Heiser is going to send this home, so I'm not going to go through this too much, but those of you who are interested in cheer or dance, if you want to participate in the 2016-2017 school year, if you can qualify, you can make our dance team and our cheer team. Okay, so that's open to you. But it happens during those time frames that just passed us by. And if that will go out to you, Ms. Tyson will send that out to you tonight. The last thing I'd like to invite you to is we have a Dawn Social that we have every year. This is for the parents only. So if you want to come to school and get to know your class and then also some other class, upper class parents, please, you're invited to come to us. All the proceeds from this event support our athletic department with 42 teams, 80 teams, 42 sports, and I think I have about 130 coaches now. That helps support everything that we do here to support you and your athletics, okay? Welcome. If you have any questions, please feel free to call my office. We're there to support you. And if you have any specific questions tonight, I'm going to be in the gym to answer any questions you might have. All right.
Okay, I just have a couple more things to mention, and then I will send you on your way to the gym for the information fair where all of the people that you've heard from, and in addition to that, additional department representatives, different program representatives will be available to answer your questions. There are two things that I wanted to mention about the course placements that I sent out. I'm sorry, I'll hold this closer so you can hear better. Two things I wanted to mention about the course placements that I sent out yesterday. One was regarding the students who were placed into integrated math. There's only one integrated math course, and it is Integrated Math 2. Unfortunately, on my spreadsheet, I had a typo, and some students are in Integrated Math 33 or Integrated Math 44. It should just say Integrated Math 2. That would be in a very advanced math course, and that will be available to you in college, I'm sure. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that students will be taking advantage of Learning Center. Ms. Bascom touched on this, but I just want to reiterate that the Learning Center course will take the place of your elective. And the elective I'm speaking about is the speech, honors, the world geography, any of those choices. That will be a Learning Center course if you are participating in the Learning Center program. And I'll send an update out to you. I just wanted to clarify that before moving on. So here's something very important for all you 8th graders out there. Just because you've been accepted right now doesn't mean it's over and you can have like senioritis of 8th grade. You still need to concentrate in class and behave yourselves and be good citizens because you're not done yet. You haven't graduated. And we look at your transcripts, believe it or not, from your final 8th grade transcript, and we make sure that you don't have a D or an F, or that you don't have a report of bad citizenship or naughty behavior, because those are things that we would reconsider if we were to come across them. So I would just strongly encourage you to still do your homework and still try your best and be a good person, because you're a Don after all, and we're all good people. Transcripts we will be collecting, and if you go to a Catholic school, I will request those on your behalf. If you go to a public school, please be sure to let your school know that you'll need the transcripts sent over to us. And we prefer them to be sent directly to us, signed, sealed, and all of that. And if you do go to a public school, there is a request for records right here that you can just download, print out, and turn into your registrar. ARIES is our student information system. So over the summer, you will get an email, or it will be in a newsletter, information on how to create your ARIES account. Right now, I just wanted to put it on your radar. This is where students will be tracked for attendance. This is where all of our grading information will be kept. And each parent will get a login, each student will get a login to be able to track making sure your kid's going to class and making sure assignments are getting turned in and finding out what grades are being assigned to all of these things. So that's ARIES. You can always access it on our main webpage, and this is what the login would look like when you're ready to log in for that. Next, iPads. And you get an iPad, and you get an iPad. Everyone gets an iPad. And we're going to give them to you in August. So we have 2 distribution dates to mark your calendars for, August 9th and August 10th. And you will get more information as the time nears. I just wanted to put it on your calendar to make you aware. We will have also, in addition to a distribution date, we will have some training for our students to know responsible use policies here at Cathedral, and also a little bit of technology training to acquaint them with the apps that we use, with the systems and policies for turning in homework and for printing things. And then additionally, there's a link at the very bottom for you to read some more about the Apple Care Plus program that we have in agreement with Apple, and some frequently asked questions about the iPads. But rest assured that more information will be coming your way regarding the iPads. This is just the first taste. And then I just wanted to also put on your radar some Frosh orientation activities. Both of these things are for students only, but you can mark your calendar for August 11th at 8 a.m. From 8 to 2, we'll have the freshmen here on campus, and they have assortment of activities that they'll be doing. We're going to distribute their final schedules, and so different from the placement that you received last night, this will have the classroom number and the teacher name and the order, everything that you need for your real schedule. We're going to give you a copy of the bell schedule, your locker assignment, all of that. The tour, you're going to meet with ambassadors and a faculty member. You're going to get your school pictures taken. And then at the end of the day, we do a walkthrough of your schedule. So as if you were at school going through all of your classes, we ring the bells really quickly and you hustle to each one of your classes and meet all of your teachers. But that's just so you get to know where your classrooms are and get a visual of what the teacher's space looks like for that first day of school. And then during this first week, second-ish week of school, we have what we're calling Frosh Blast Days. And these are 2 days of additional orientation for our freshmen to get to know our community in all of the ways that we've listed there. So 2 exciting things to look forward to for next year. And here are my concluding remarks. Any questions that you have about placement or programs or activities at Cathedral, all of the representatives, like I mentioned, are down in the gym ready and waiting for you. And like I said, I'll be sending out the link to this presentation tonight, so you will be able to access everything that we've spoken about today.